My name is Karen.
Have they fiddled enough?
I hope they
Have they fiddled enough?
No? Oh. More fiddling to happen. Okay. Oh. We're waiting. I guess we need some hold music or something right now.
Would you care to sing us some?
Where is love? Does it fall from skies above? Is it underneath the willow tree that I am dreaming of? Where is he who I close my eyes to see? Will I ever know the sweet hello that's meant for only me? Every night I need
Stop. How's your fiddling? Yes. You're still fiddling.
We're fiddling. Oh. Choosing a temperature. Thank you.
The answer to the question that you ended with in the song is yes.
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember the question?
I remember the question.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for your serenade.
Thank you for asking me. I didn't know I was ready to serenade.
Yes.
You talked about Atlantis coming back, both physically and as a
Physically in the
concept or an
sense of
idea.
being rebuilt, yes.
Is it going to be soon? Would it be a place where we can actually go to? How long
As
do
I
we have
said,
to wait?
most likely you will find that elements of Atlantis will be rebuilt in the North Central, South American areas, as well as in some European areas and African areas and Mediterranean areas. It will be rebuilt physically, and you can go to those physically, eventually, in the years to come.
Did you have a lifetime there?
In the classic idea of reincarnation, the answer would be yes. But the idea, of course, is that reincarnation, in a sense, doesn't actually operate in the way that many people on your planet think. Because everything exists all at once. Time's an illusion. Therefore, all people are all existing right now. No one has ever been anyone else. No one ever becomes anyone else. But you make connections energetically to people in what you call different time periods. And by making those energetic conscious connections, you download information and experiences from them that you interpret as memories of having been them, which you never have been. But therefore, you can create an experience of reincarnation, but that's not a description of the actual mechanism at work. Does that make sense?
Does that mean we've never been those other places?
Correct. You are this person. You are this person. The people in Atlantis are the people in Atlantis, and they exist right now alongside you, even though you can't see them, because they're on a different vibrational frequency, because everything exists now, all at once. All of existence exists now. So you as a person have never been there. But as an extension of the Oversoul that you are, another extension of the same Oversoul you're connected to has an incarnation in Atlantis. That's how that works. So you are feeling the connection through the Oversoul's projection of these two incarnational lives that go on simultaneously. From the Oversoul's perspective, both lives are happening at the same time. But from your perspective, you have your life, that person has their life, and you are making a connection for some reason to download information and experience that helps you in this life, as they may be doing the same with you to help them in their life. So you can create this experience. A soul can experience the idea of, I used to be this person, now I'm this person, and I can be another person. It can create a linear experience that you describe as the experience of reincarnation, but that only happens from a particular perspective or point of view. The truth is, that's not really what's happening as a mechanism, because everything already exists and everyone already exists at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So, big difference between the description of an experience and the description of the actual mechanism creating the experience. This is one of the things that we are offering many of you in this new age on your planet, is how to know the difference between the description of an experience and the description of the actual mechanism creating it, so that you can streamline your definitions and not get caught up in outdated or old-fashioned definitions of things that can be misleading as to how things actually work in reality. So when you know the difference between the experience and the mechanism, you can have all the experiences you wish, and they can be presented in any way that you wish, and you can learn from them as you need to learn from them. But nevertheless, the mechanism is different than the experience. Make sense?
Yes.
Does this help?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
It does.
This is why you've heard those tales of this person saying, I was Julius Caesar. No, I was Julius Caesar. No, I was Julius Caesar. Or I was Cleopatra. No, I was Cleopatra. No, I was Cleopatra. They could all be telling the truth, in the sense that because everything exists at once, many different people all at once can create energetic connections to the actual person known as Cleopatra and interpret that connection as a memory, as if they actually were her. That's why that's even possible, is because you all exist at the same time. If Cleopatra actually existed in the past, you would never be able to reach her, because the past would really be a separate place. But there is no past. It's another present going on at the same time. We often use the idea on your planet to illustrate this of the television analogy. You're watching a program on a particular channel. You know that at the same time, hundreds of other programs are also running simultaneously, but you don't see them. You're not tuned to that channel. But if you did change the channel, you would see another program, knowing that the one you were just watching is still running somewhere. You're just not watching it anymore. So reality is kind of structured that way. All the programs exist now, and you have to change your channel in order to tap into getting a different story or a different perspective or a different experience. But that doesn't mean that you become someone else. Of course, it also depends on what level you're coming from when you say you. Because as we described, if you're coming from the personality physical level, then you have never been someone living in Atlantis. But the Oversoul of you can say, I am the person living in Atlantis. I am the person living in Los Angeles. Because they are both simultaneously, because they are from where those extensions are coming. Just as when you keep going up that scale, it makes sense then when you understand that all that is, God, Goddess, whatever you want to call it, is everything, experiencing everything simultaneously. It is all that is on that level, from that perspective. Make sense?
Yeah. It makes
Does this
sense.
help?
Yeah, it helps.
Anything else?
Are you one being or a collective?
I myself am an individual male of my extraterrestrial civilization, but there are many of us on my planet. Mm-hmm. This is a telepathic connection with the channel. Now, we are, in our evolution, what we call quasi-physical. We are approaching non-physicality. Therefore, we have some of the traits of spirit while still retaining some of the traits of physical beings. But If we landed on your planet by shifting to your reality, you would be able to see us as physical beings.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be able to see us as individuals. Even though we are, amongst ourselves, telepathically connected. Did that answer that question?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm very happy to talk to you at this moment.
And we are ecstatic to speak with you.
Thank you. So I want to start from the end, which is
You want to start from the end?
from the end, meaning some information you just now gave.
Yes.
I'm a bit discombobulated here.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
The perfect state to learn something new. Discombobulation.
Yeah. Thank you. I agree. So if the Atlantis, you mentioned you cannot be those who were because they exist right now in the
Yes.
present, because everything is in the present.
Yes.
Yet in your 15-minute teaching, you spoke of rising, Atlantis
Of
rising.
course, we have to communicate to you in your language and in your concepts for you to have something to make sense of. But even though we may use your language of past, present, and future, doesn't mean that that's an actual description of the mechanism. Doesn't mean that's an actual description of existence. It's just a convenient way to get an idea across to you in your language, in your reality. So yes, of course, we will use colloquial language in your society to make a point. But don't let that fool you, and don't let that make you forget what we're explaining about the underlying mechanism.
So does it mean that the conscious will be imprinted or affecting us as we are here now?
Only if you make a connection to be affected. That's how the effect happens. You have to agree to connect vibrationally with something in order to create an effect in your life. Nothing can affect you if you don't match the frequency.
So I'll take it back to the question, what does it mean, arise Atlantis?
It means that you, and many of you, are choosing a particular path that will, in a sense, rebirth the same kind of energy, the same kind of vibration, the same kind of reality that many Atlanteans also experience, in order to express it in your reality in a way that you prefer, in a way that represents your ability to create a beautiful, creative, loving, and peaceful society. And therefore, colloquially, that can be referred to as a rebirth of Atlantis, because that's what you're taking your cue from.
Beautiful, I understand. I
Yes.
understand that.
Yes?
So I'll take one step into the mechanism versus experience.
Yes.
So you mean the mechanism is the entity who have been an expression of some sort, and if I link to that entity or their consciousness,
Yes.
that is the experience.
Then an experience results from that linkage.
So the mechanism is?
The mechanism is your ability to link. The mechanism is based on the fact that everything exists all at once, and that you can link to anything because everything is right here, right now. And when you make the linkage, you're matching a frequency, and by matching a frequency, you're generating a particular experiential perspective. But the experience might be interpreted very differently than what the mechanism is that you're using, because you might be interpreting it through your particular perspective of space-time and reality.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be coloring it.
Yeah.
For example, again, if someone functions telepathically with someone else, often in your reality you say, well, that person is reading their mind. That's the way it feels. That's the way a description of an experience feels in your particular reality. I'm reading their mind. But you're not reading their mind. You are matching their frequency and having the same thoughts at the same time as they are in your mind.
Same.
You're mirroring their mind, not reading their mind. You're just reading your mind because you were so adept at mirroring theirs by matching their frequency. That's how telepathy works. So the mechanism is very different than the way people on your planet often describe the experience. The experience feels like I'm reading your mind. But that's a description of something that's not actually happening. The mechanism is that you're matching their frequency and mirroring their mind. And then for just reading your own mind. Because you're having the same thoughts.
I understand. That's magnificent.
Yes,
it's a
that's the
concept that was not existing in most of our minds until I start hearing it from you.
Yes.
So it's beautiful. It's
Yes.
a hope.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's understanding the nature and structure of existence. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And when you understand the nature and structure of existence, all of your confusion and your questions are answered because you can relate it to the structure. Go, does this make sense according to the structure? Yes, no. This part does, this part, that must be an old-fashioned interpretation. So the framework, the structure, allows you to filter and let go of outdated definitions and streamline them into what you call your 21st century understanding of how things work.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Does that help?
It does. Beautiful. Thank you for that.
You are very welcome. Is there something else?
Yes. So you described the Sasani people to be much more in a higher frequency, and therefore that's why you don't come face to face with us.
For now, yes, you have to raise your frequency for us to be a little bit more vibrationally compatible with you so we don't, by exposing you to our energy, burn you out.
So I know I'm still thinking linearly, but I would like to bring it up, so I hopefully will change that.
Yay.
So here's Darryl, who is channeling or connecting with you so you can deliver a message.
Yes.
Then there is Willa, who is 700 years
In the future,
upline, what
on
she
Earth.
calls, right?
Yes.
So you're such an evolution, and she's also an evolution, and yet you're here. So I'm thinking linearly, and it looks like, oh my God, it will be so long until we get to that place.
No, not necessarily.
And yet, right. So I would like to connect those dots to see where is, it's a soup right now. It's all mixed, and
It's a
yet
soup, all
it's a
right.
soup.
I assume it's tasty?
It could be if I make sense out
All
of
right.
it.
Well, first
Yes.
of all, recognize the difference in frequencies between myself and Willa. Willa is of Earth. I am not. I'm in another dimension altogether that operates 10 times faster than yours. She lives on Earth, and even though the frequency of Earth 700 years in the future is a little higher than it is now, she's still of Earth. She's still relatable to you, in a way. Without the idea of us creating an experience of incarnation on your planet to learn what your society is like, I would be too alien to you, and you would be too alien to me. So having incarnations as experiences on your planet, such as the channel being my quote-unquote past self, allows me to absorb the information I need to understand your society sufficiently to have these conversations. Otherwise, they simply wouldn't happen. We'd be too different.
So why would you, it's a rhetoric question, why would you come forth if you're such a distance in frequency? I wanted to say it's almost unrealistic, though your message is beautiful.
How
And
we make contact with new civilizations. This is one of the ways. I'm a first contact specialist.
yeah,
This is how we initiate contact when civilizations open themselves up and send out an energetic invitation. So the fact that we're talking to you is because of all of you. You invited us. We answered the invitation. Here we are. So it's not really unrealistic any more than you sending out a party invitation and somebody RSVPing.
yeah.
Here we are. We've come to the party. You invited us. Should we go home?
Nope. You're very welcome to be
All
here.
right, then
It's very welcoming.
It's
Yes.
realistic, isn't it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
it
it is.
doesn't matter that we're from some other dimension. I specifically do this as my passion with other civilizations, including yours. So therefore, what you have gotten is someone whose job it is, in a sense, to contact civilizations who begin to open to encountering extraterrestrial consciousness. So it's not surprising. This is the time. Aren't you seeing, even in your own society, the idea of people opening up to the idea that you're discovering all sorts of other planets around other stars and going, well, there's got to be someone else out there. Well, here we
Yes.
are,
Yes.
at least one of us. And there are many more that you will encounter over time. Don't be impatient. Stay in the present.
Yeah.
That's where everything will happen.
Yeah.
Now, do remember, as has been said, though you may not have completely understood it when it was announced, what you call tomorrow night of your time, we will be talking about the idea of an opportunity to get a little closer. Midnight under the hunter's moon is a period and a vortex of heightened activity. We're not making any promises, but we are telling you, as many people have requested, can we start to really see some things? Can we start to feel some things? Can we interact a little more closely? The potential and the possibility and probability and relevance of that will happen in the time and place that we're going to designate in tomorrow's transmission. So if you want to heighten the vibration, if you want to open up the doorway to more opportunity to interacting physiologically and in other ways with different forms of extraterrestrial consciousness, we would suggest, but not insist, that you might want to take advantage of the where and the when of the invitation we're going to send you tomorrow night.
Beautiful.
All right?
Beautiful.
All right.
So I would end with one
Yes.
one little item here.
Yes.
So recently, when I speak a sentence, all of a sudden I get stuck without the word. The word is right there holographically in my mind,
Yes.
but it just doesn't come out. And
Then stop.
I do stop,
All right.
and then it comes.
Exactly. Because you stopped trying to get it.
But it's kind of disturbing to know that
Why?
in the middle of a sentence.
So
they
what? Who cares?
I do.
Why?
Because I get the look.
So
You know,
what?
it's-
I guarantee you, whether you finish the sentence or not, you're going to get looks. Because you are getting stranger and stranger and stranger
You
as
can
you
say
expand
that
your
again.
consciousness.
Yeah.
So you're still going to get looks whether you finish your sentences or interrupt them or not. So
Yeah.
you might as well just go with the flow. There's a reason for it. Just go with the flow and you'll see.
Beautiful. I accept it. But with that, so I was troubled by that fact.
Yes.
I go to sleep and I lay down in bed and talking to myself and calling forth to whoever can help me.
Yes.
Perhaps if anything wrong with the brain to...
Nothing is wrong with your brain. We're scanning you right now. There's nothing wrong with your brain. You're doing fine. Relax.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too. The only thing wrong with your brain is that you think there's something wrong with your brain.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm Tristan. Nice to meet you.
And you as well.
So my first question is, earlier this year, I went through a period where I relied heavily, or I thought I needed to use psychedelic substance to gain some sort of spiritual
All right, such
knowledge
as?
and
Such as?
like deeper understandings
No,
or
which
higher
substances?
DMT, smoking DMT.
All right. And so, what did you learn? What did you experience?
I experienced that it was irrelevant, and I found that I went outside of myself to get something.
Yes.
And at the end of it, I realized a lot of what I think interpreted as knowledge or wisdom that would help me out is just irrelevant and maybe illusion and things that aren't true. So I was wondering.
All right. Well, then the teacher taught you something, didn't it?
Yeah.
It gave you a perspective that allowed you to open up to that understanding.
Right.
Well, there you go.
And so, is there a way I could go into what I potentially took in as truth that is not truth and is really an illusion to gain back more truth and go back into where it may have damaged me somehow?
No, it hasn't damaged you.
Okay.
Understand, the natural teachers of the earth, the things that the earth provides, the things that are in your body, like DMT, which is produced by your pineal gland naturally, are there to act as teachers to allow you to experience certain altered states that allow you to open up to receive different kinds of information. The idea, of course, is that, as you have discovered, you don't necessarily need to keep using them. One of the things the teacher is teaching you is that eventually you can simply create whatever state you need by yourself without the teacher, in much the same way that when you graduate from kindergarten, you don't need a kindergarten teacher anymore. You need different teachers. But you have learned a profound lesson. First of all, physical reality is all an illusion. But the idea is that it's your illusion. It's your illusion for your purposes, your reflection, like a reflection in a mirror for you to use as a course-correcting, guiding mechanism, so that if you see something that you determine is out of alignment with who you prefer to be, you can course-correct. You can bring yourself back into alignment. So that's why you create the illusion of physical reality, to discover something new about yourself from a new perspective that you couldn't discover in the same way in another way.
Right.
So continue to follow the formula of acting on your passion, knowing the difference between passion and anxiety. You have to have honesty in your discernment about whether you are actually anxious and disguising your anxiety as excitement as an excuse to keep doing it, or whether it is truly something that is representative of your excitement. But once you're clear on that, then whatever really does attract you with your passion, your excitement, your creativity, curiosity, act on it to the best you can with no insistence on the outcome. Remain in a positive state no matter what manifests, and you'll be following the formula, and the tools that go with it will automatically serve you. That's all you have to do. It's all you have to do to live a full life, a fulfilled life. Because if you do that, you will get everything you need. It may not be everything anyone wants, because sometimes your wants may coincide with your needs, but sometimes they don't, because they might come from belief systems that are out of alignment with you. Well, I want this. I really do need that. And you may not. But what you truly need in life, what synchronicity as the organizing principle will always bring to you, will fulfill you. Will fulfill you. Just let it. You don't have to make it, just let it happen. Just let it unfold by following your passion with no insistence on the outcome. Because see, the truth is that insisting on a particular outcome, thinking that you know what the best outcome is, you don't. You have to finally realize you have no idea what the best outcome actually would be. Yes, we understand. Sometimes the outcome does seem to appear exactly as you imagined it, but don't rely on that. Because you don't know that the next time the higher mind might have something very different in mind that would actually be better than your physical mind was capable of imagining. So why insist on something that might actually limit you from experiencing something so much better that your higher mind could give you? Why insist? Don't. Just let it happen. The higher mind knows what you need, and what you need will fulfill you. Is this making some sense?
Yeah.
Is this helping?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. So, thank you. My next question is,
Yes.
the times in my life where I felt in the highest frequency and vibration and the most in alignment, and I felt amazing, so expanded.
Yes.
It's like I wasn't balanced enough, and then it fell off eventually. So what was it?
Then you changed your frequency. You cannot, in a sense, experience imbalance from a heightened frequency state. You actually have to leave that frequency to suddenly experience imbalance. So you gave yourself a lesson not to leave that frequency. You cannot have the imbalance experience in the heightened frequency. That simply doesn't work as a definition. You cannot experience what you're not the vibration of. And conversely, you can only experience what you are the vibration of. So if you experience what feels like an imbalance, then you have made a change in your frequency in order to experience that. Then you just ask yourself, well, why would I choose to experience that? Am I making some kind of contrast or comparison here that teaches me something? Why would I choose to experience the idea of imbalance by having also experienced a very heightened state? What am I learning from having chosen that? Do I have a belief system within me that allows me to believe that I can't maintain a heightened state of bliss, that I have to experience the idea of imbalance? Let me examine that. Let me explore myself. Let me investigate with honesty and discernment. Maybe that's why you did it. so that you could know the difference. But it's not an accident, and you can't experience one thing that is not commensurate with the vibration of another thing. It's just not physically possible. Yes?
Yeah.
Does this help?
Yeah.
Do you find this illuminating?
Yes.
All right.
I do.
Does that help you then? Do you have what you need, or is there something else?
Yeah. Just my last question I'm curious about is that
Yes.
I heard that during this month of October,
Yes.
it's going to be a very big month, and that the amount of information we can process, I heard of it as data points, like, or the amount of data points we could process is increasing, and we're processing more and more
In a
reality.
sense, did I not already mention that I was going to tell you about the location and timing of midnight under the hunter's moon?
Yeah.
Where something will open up, where more things may be probable?
Wow.
Well,
yeah.
then tune in for the transmission,
Okay.
and I will tell you where and when and how.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.